those.
Okay.
Adam Lowry named the Jets
Yes. I mean,
captain.
that is
Fantastic.
definitely the biggest news of the day for sure. Yeah. I mean, the choice was obvious. I think everyone is thinking and saying the same thing. How do you not?
Yeah,
Or not, perhaps not. Maybe we're not all saying the same thing. I guess I didn't pile us all together.
yeah. So Lowry was the only man for the job. I will 1000% agree with that. I just question: did the Jets need another year without a captain, especially with Blake Wheeler outside of the locker room? The Jets have been kind of like, there were several times last year where Adam Lowry was like, "Yeah, Blake Wheeler is still kind of the captain of the team."
Mhm.
And even at the end of the year, at the when Rick Bowness blew up at everyone, Adam Lowry was parodying exactly what Wheeler said. So you're like, I kind of want to see him have his own backbone for an extended period of time before I give him the C, but no one else in the locker room deserved it besides him.
No, not at all. I mean, and nobody has shown up to want it. It doesn't even nobody really knows what's going on in the Jets locker room right now. There are so many questions, and I feel like that's very strenuous on them. Um, do I think they'd be better off without one? It's hard to say. Maybe they're all better off just as one of themselves. However, Adam Lowry, I think they need some direction. And if he's going to rope in the crews and rope in the boys, I think he's the best guy for the job. He takes the most responsibility, accountability. He shows pride to be a Jet. He is probably replicating what Wheeler said because he respects Wheeler and doesn't want to, overstep his own boundaries.
Yes. The only thing that I worry about now is, where are we going to see the same thing that we saw with both Andrew Ladd and Blake Wheeler, where all of a sudden these guys got bigger roles on the ice because, well, they were
Mhm.
captain. And like, Adam Lowry is the quintessential third line centerman in the NHL. If he's on your fourth line, you're probably winning a Stanley Cup. But him on your third line, you're doing just fine. Uh,
Absolutely.
so I'm worried that they're going to try to push him into one of those higher roles because, only guys like McDavid and Matthews can be captains because, it's all these young superstars that are wearing the letter now.
Right. Yeah. There has been many cases in the NHL we've seen where players have been thrown the captaincy and their gameplay has diminished. Their by goals, their morale has diminished. You've seen teams almost fall apart with captains and have taken a step back. Do you remember? Now we're going back. I'm dating it about 12 years to 11 years ago now when they signed Luongo as captain. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do.
And so Vancouver had Luongo as a captain, but he was the locker room and he was the guy that everyone turned to. And I think it's pretty obvious that's exactly who Lowry is to everyone. I think people hold him in a very high regard. And especially when there's so much we've been hearing a lot of how negative the locker room has been as of the last few years, and maybe Lowry's the one that's really trying to keep the clan together. So, I I hope.
Yeah, you gotta hope he's the right pick. He is the
I'm
right
just
pick. There's no way around it. Like, I think I saw one person try to argue that it should have been Josh Morrissey, and like I, saw almost 100 comments about this with Jets Nation. So
so. How do you
it's
feel
just
about a
doing.
Josh Morrissey? How do you feel Morrissey versus Lowry would weigh again?
Morrissey would be your white collar pick. Your upper management would have been like, that's our guy because we've got him locked up long term. He's, he had a Norris nomination almost last
Yeah.
year. Like, he excelled, but he had one good year. He rarely put the team on his back. Like, I would have been okay with Morrissey being the captain, but I wouldn't have been stoked about it. I would have been actually kind of bummed out about it.
Yeah, I don't know why I feel this, but I feel like there's almost a sense of um inexperience still. He's just still so young to me, but he's not. He's been with the Jets for a while now, but I don't know. I don't know if Morrissey's the captain-esque type guy.
No,
I don't know if
no,
I consider it like that.
No, and I mean, like, not everyone's a captain, but he is a good leader on that team. Like,
For
you
sure.
did see it at times last year when there was a game that he was like, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then when he would do that, that's when he was a genuine leader. And if he could do that 82 times a year, yeah, 100%, I'll put the C on you. But
Of course.
I think we saw it six times last year.
Right. Yep.
But that was also the Jets had a bad back half. So
They sure did. Yeah.
yes. Mike Babcock and
Okay.
Spit and
I
Chicklets.
was gonna say